Eyes front. Brooks's whisper slices the morning fog, steady and sharp as the rifle on his shoulder. The mist is thick, swirling over the marble steps, shrouding the line between the living and the remembered. 50 silent faces cluster behind the velvet rope. Breaths held, camera shutters muted. Only the discipline of the line remains. Boots snap against stone, each step a metronome of duty. Specialist Daniel Reyes feels every eye, every expectation, every weight. His chest is tight under the pressed wool, his left hand flexing with a tremor he cannot will away. "Change arms," Brooks commands, voice barely more than a breath, but every syllable is iron. Reyes shifts the M14, the sling pulling cold and taut across his palm. The rifle's metal is slick with dew. The air stings. The crowd shifts as a school group leans for a better view, one girl's hand pressed over her mouth. Somewhere, a faint sob escapes and dissolves in the wind. A click. Brooks inspects the weapon with ritual precision, eyes sharp beneath the rim of his cap. A single bead of sweat cuts down Reyes's brow, mingling with the chill, and he blinks hard. At the edge of the crowd, an older man stands alone, stiff in a battered army jacket, hands trembling around a creased photograph. He is Samuel Price, and he watches Reyes with a hunger only the grieving know. From the back, Captain Hayes takes silent notes, pen moving in clipped surgical strokes. Major Hensley's profile is set, statue-like, jaw-locked, arms behind his back, the embodiment of order. But all order is fragile. Under the uniform, Reyes's heart pounds louder than the rifle's bolt. In his pocket, a letter, received before dawn, burns like an ember. He fights not to glance at it. Brooks leans in, quiet enough for only Reyes to hear. "You're shaking." "I'm good, Sergeant," Reyes whispers back, eyes locked straight ahead. "You better be. The world is watching." Brooks's words don't threaten, they anchor. From somewhere beyond, the echo of a bugle trickles through the mist. The smell of wet grass rises, mingling with the clean oil of the weapon. Arlington's headstones float like ghosts in the fog, white rows unbroken, the silent muster of the nation's memory. A boy sneezes in the crowd, the sound shockingly human. Then silence clamps again. Reyes lifts his chin. "Ready for inspection." Brooks steps in, gloves precise as a surgeon, brushing at a speck of lint on Reyes's shoulder. The tension between them is wire-tight. Each movement is theater and truth, discipline forged in loss. Hayes scribbles, her eyes flicking up, searching for a flaw or perhaps something more. Hensley surveys the line. "Let's keep it flawless today, Brooks. No exceptions." Brooks doesn't answer. He nods, barely, and returns to his place. Reyes's throat thickens. His hand, his right, the one meant to be as steady as the marble beneath him, quivers. He clamps it, knuckles white. Mind. Flashing back to a night in Kandahar. The friend he could not save. The friend whose name is now just a number, buried unknown. He recites the creed under his breath. "My standard will remain perfection." The girl in the front row stares at him, eyes wide, sensing something wrong. Reyes stares back, through her, past her, into the fog. Major Hensley steps closer. "Everything in order, Specialist?" "Yes, sir." Reyes doesn't blink. Brooks glances at the rifle, then at Reyes's hand. He says nothing. In that suspended moment, a drop slides down Reyes's cheek. Not sweat, colder, salt and sorrow. It traces his jawline, gathers at his chin, and falls. The tear lands on marble. Time slows. The world contracts to the hush of the tomb, the glint of the rifle, the silent acknowledgement of everyone present. Mr. Price clutches his photo tighter, a gasp lost in the wind. Hayes's pen stills. Brooks's eyes flash, first with anger, then something softer. Hensley's jaw tenses. The crowd senses the fracture in the ritual, a single soldier, a single tear, and the vast, unbroken silence that follows. No one breathes. The guards do not move. You never expect to see a tomb guard cry. That's why, when the reason finally surfaces, the whole world will break with him. Subscribe to follow every step of this story, because at Arlington, the smallest crack can reveal a nation's deepest grief. Rain needles the window, drumming the tin roof in the tomb quarters. Fluorescent lights flicker above racks of gleaming rifles. It is evening now, the ceremony long done, uniforms hanging on pegs, boots lined in reverent silence. Brooks stands by the doorway, arms folded, gaze fixed on Reyes, who sits at a metal table, back straight, letter gripped so tight his knuckles are bloodless. The room smells of wet wool and gun oil. Thunder rumbles, shaking dust from the frame. Brooks. Let's hear it, Reyes. Reyes tries to steady his voice. He fails. Sir, it's from her. From Jamie, my buddy's wife. His fingers tremble as he unfolds the battered envelope, edges gone soft from handling. Brooks doesn't move. The weight in the room is heavier than the storm. Reyes. She wrote, they found him, or they think they did. The letter shakes in his grip. Unidentified remains, DNA, Arlington. She thinks, she knows, it's him, SGT Travis Quinn. Brooks's jaw clenches. The name means something. He files it away, unreadable. The door creaks open. Major Hensley steps in, boots squeaking on linoleum, rainwater dripping from his cover. He closes the door softly but with finality. Hensley. What's this about a letter? His eyes narrow, searching both men for a break in discipline. Brooks. Private family matter, sir. Just giving him a moment. Hensley steps closer, slow and deliberate. I saw a tear on the plaza, Brooks. That's not a moment. That's a breach. Brooks. He kept the line. Ceremony held. The public never saw. Weakness. Hensley glances at Reyes. You disagree, specialist? Reyes can barely look up. No, sir. I tried. I failed. His voice is thick, hands fisting the letter until it crumples. Hensley. You failed? His tone is cold, almost curious. Reyes. Yes, sir. My best friend's name is lost on that stone. I'm supposed to be silent, but today, I couldn't. Brooks's gaze is steel. Permission to speak freely, sir? Hensley. Granted. Brooks. Every man here has ghosts, but no man leaves the line. Specialist Reyes did not leave his post. The tear was for the unknown, for all of them. Thunder shakes the windows, lightning illuminating the tight space. Reyes, face hollow with grief. Brooks, jaw set. Hensley, lips pressed thin. Hensley's hand hovers over his belt buckle. The standard is perfection, Brooks. You know that. Brooks. I do, sir. Reyes. With respect, sir, there's more. His eyes flick to Brooks. Jamie's letter. The DNA match. It's almost certain. SGT Quinn, my friend, he's here in the tomb. Silence. The rain becomes deafening. Brooks exhales, slow. Brooks. That's the truth? Reyes nods, eyes rimmed red. Yes, Sergeant. She begged me to stand watch. For him, for all of them. The doorframe glows white with another flash. Brooks, silhouetted, becomes a monument in the storm. The thunder rattles loose something deeper, older, in all three men. Hensley steps back. There will be a review, specialist. You may not walk again until it's over. Reyes's head bows, but he does not plead. Brooks. He'll be ready, whatever comes. The rain intensifies, as if the sky itself grieves for every name never spoken aloud. Because sometimes a soldier's greatest burden isn't the weight of a rifle, but the memory of a brother lost to history, now known but never truly home. Line up. Ceremony proceeds, storm or not. Hensley's voice cracks like a rifle shot across the tomb plaza, his silhouette outlined against a bruised, fast-darkening sky. Wind whips the flags hard, snapping them straight and wild above the heads of the assembled crowd. Ponchos billow, umbrellas strain at their spines. The air smells of ozone and wet marble. Rain has washed the plaza slick, turning every step into a test. Reyes stands rigid at the ready, boots braced, rifle gleaming against the storm's gray. His gloves are already soaked through. He scans the rows. Brooks a shadow at his side, Hayes watching, notepad gone, face bare and watchful. Tourists huddle close, some filming, all faces tight with expectation and unease. Brooks. Steady, Reyes. Reyes. Aye, Sergeant, but his voice is thin, his gaze pulled to the horizon where thunder blooms. A gust drives rain sideways, needles stinging exposed skin. The tomb itself seems to crouch in the gale, marble bright against the clouds. A boy in the crowd wipes rain from his cheeks, unsure if it's the storm or something else that's made his face wet. Hensley stalks the line, jaw clenched, voice hard. No deviation. The watch continues. Understood? Brooks. Yes, sir. Reyes. Yes, sir. Hayes's pen is gone. Her eyes do the work now, tracking every gesture, searching for cracks in the ritual. She sees Brooks's lips moving, the barest ghost of the creed under his breath. Brooks. Through the heat of the day and chill of the night, the crowd ripples as a branch skitters across the plaza, rain driving harder. A woman's hand finds her daughter's shoulder, protection in the face of something primal. Reyes's fingers tighten on the rifle. He glances down. Water beads on the barrel, drips to the stone in perfect time with his heart. Hensley. Commence. Reyes steps off, boots striking slick marble, every movement measured, every muscle burning against the cold. The storm pushes, trying to break his line, but he does not yield. The world is reduced to three things: wind, the beat of his feet, and the memory of a name never spoken. Brooks watches, eyes narrowing. Hayes exhales, caught between awe and dread. The crowd falls into a hush, reverence edged with fear. Lightning forks above the cemetery, white veins splitting the black sky. In the charged silence that follows, Reyes falters. One step, half a heartbeat. He drops to one knee, rifle grounded, head bowed. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Brooks tenses, a curse bitten back. Hensley's jaw sets so hard it might break. But Reyes does not break. Instead, he plants the rifle's butt on the marble, gloved hand steady, and bows his head, not in failure, but in salute. For the friend whose name is newly returned, for every unknown, for every storm that cannot wash memory away. The crowd stands silent, the only sound the rush of rain, the whisper of history settling on stone. Brooks, soft, almost lost. Hold the line. Lightning crashes again. This time it lands so close the air vibrates, the tomb glowing in a sudden unearthly light. In that flash, Reyes kneels, head bowed, the storm's fury raging, and for a heartbeat, time stands still. Sit. Hensley's command cuts through the damp air, reverberating in the small, cold review room deep beneath Arlington's surface walkways. Rain pounds the glass, washing the world beyond into a blur of gray and green. The flag outside hangs limp, heavy with water. The wet smell of stone and old coffee saturates the air. Brooks remains standing behind Reyes, shoulders set, boots planted. Reyes lowers himself onto the cold metal chair, fingers splayed on the edge, the metal biting into his palms. His uniform jacket is still damp from the storm, sleeves creased, name tape shining under the fluorescent light. Each breath is measured. Hayes, hair drawn back, stands with her back to the window, notepad stowed, her eyes fixed on Hensley. Hensley's presence fills the room, an immovable pillar. His ribbons catch the light, his face, carved in granite. What happened on the plaza will not be ignored, he says, voice low and taut. Reyes raises his head, a flicker of resolve cutting through fatigue. Sir, I completed the walk. I did not leave my post. His voice cracks, but he presses on. I honored the unknown. I honored them all. A clock ticks, slow and relentless, drilling into the silence. Hensley, you knelt. The line broke. There are no asterisks in the record, specialist. Not for rain, not for memory, not for loss. Brooks's jaw flexes, but he stays silent, his posture sending its own challenge. Hayes shifts, shoes squeaking on the wet tile. Hayes. With respect, Major, you didn't see the faces. The crowd fell silent. No laughter, no talking. Just respect. Reyes's action, his grief, only made it more sacred. Hensley's gaze flicks to her, unimpressed. Respect is not discipline, Captain. The world measures us by our refusal to bend. This uniform is not armor against feeling, but feeling cannot dictate protocol. Reyes's hands tremble on the tabletop, nails ragged, every muscle tight. He glances at Brooks, whose eyes do not move from Hensley. Brooks. Permission to speak freely, sir. Hensley's head tilts. Proceed. Brooks. The code of the guard is not perfection, it's devotion. We repeat the same words every dawn and dusk. They aren't empty. My standard will remain perfection, yes, but it is a perfection of purpose, not a perfection of stone. Thunder rattles the glass, the storm a constant pulse beyond their walls. Hayes leans in, voice soft but clear. Hayes, if you discipline Reyes for what the world saw, you teach the next guard to be less human, not more honorable. Hensley, you mistake emotion for integrity, Captain. The country trusts us to be silent, steadfast, untouchable. They expect marble, not men. Reyes draws a breath, staring at his reflection in the tabletop, pale and warped. My friend's name is here now. Not on a plaque, not in a grave I can visit, here, among the unknowns. I failed him once. I won't dishonor him now. Hensley's brow furrows. The rain shifts, tapping faster, almost frantic. The aroma of burnt coffee thickens. Someone left a styrofoam cup near the edge of the table. It wobbles with each distant clap of thunder. Brooks moves to Reyes's side, his shadow falling long and steady. Major, the guard's creed isn't just words. It's the only thing holding us together when we stand in that plaza, eyes forward, rain or fire, sun or midnight. What Reyes did, it was not weakness. It was reverence. He never left the line. Hensley. He knelt. He broke formation, and he cried. Reyes, voice gravel. Yes, sir, I did. Silence. Hayes. You ask the impossible, Major. You want perfection, but the tomb was built from sacrifice, not absence of pain. The rain tapers, a hush pressing in. Brooks squares his shoulders, gaze unwavering. Permission. To recite the creed, sir. Hensley hesitates. Granted. Brooks speaks, each word ringing in the small room. My dedication to this sacred duty is total and wholehearted. In the responsibility bestowed on me, never will I falter. Through the heat of the day and the chill of the night, I will honor them. The words linger, echoing off stone, as if the room itself holds its breath. Hayes. That's what the people saw, not a flaw, a legacy carried forward. Reyes carried all of us. Hensley's fists clench, then release. His eyes are hard, but there's something else, a shadow of doubt, a war between duty and understanding. He stands, pacing once, then returns to his seat. The room feels tighter. The only movement is the slow drip of water from Brooks's uniform to the floor. Reyes finally lifts his head, voice steady for the first time. Whatever the outcome, sir, I will not regret honoring him, or them. Brooks looks at Hensley. Neither will I. A flash of lightning outside illuminates the flag, streaks of gold and red across blue, a memory, a promise, a warning. Hensley, this isn't over. Dismissed. Await my decision. No one moves at first. The moment stretches, fraught and unfinished. Rain begins again, tapping the glass. Reyes rises. Brooks steps in beside him, hand resting briefly on his shoulder. A silent affirmation. Hayes turns to the window, watching the storm return. In that uncertain pause, Brooks's words echo, alive in the silence. Through the heat of the day and the chill of the night, I will honor them. The thunder that follows is not an answer, but a challenge. Plaza ready. Brooks's voice is steady, but the air is different tonight. Charged, hushed, as if Arlington itself is holding vigil. Sunset bleeds across the white marble, casting long shadows from the tomb, painting the steps in gold. The storm is gone. The crowd is larger than ever. Veterans, families, schoolchildren, a sea of faces turned expectant and solemn. They press behind the velvet rope, the tension in their posture matching the guard's measured restraint. Reyes stands at the edge of the plaza, uniform pressed, boots gleaming, eyes shining with something more than discipline. He is flanked by Brooks and for the first time, Hayes in full dress, a silent witness, note-taking forgotten. Hensley lingers by the periphery, arms folded, jaw working, gaze unblinking. Mr. Price stands among the crowd, clutching his folded photograph and a single rose wrapped tight in one trembling fist. The sun's last light bathes the tomb, reflecting off every line, every curve of stone. The rifles are oiled and silent. The faintest scent of cut grass lingers, mingled with the subtle perfume of roses from the wreaths. Underfoot, the marble is warm, radiating back the day's final heat. Brooks steps up to Reyes, his hand falling briefly, firmly on his shoulder. Ready? Reyes draws a breath, nods once, voice strong. Ready, Sergeant. Brooks's eyes never leave the line as he whispers, Carry them well. The crowd quiets, almost instinctively, as Reyes takes his position. His every movement is slow, deliberate, the weight of the creed heavy on his spine. Boots strike the marble, 21 steps, perfect, unbroken. Each click echoes, rippling outward until even the wind seems to pause. Hayes watches, heart in her throat, every muscle tight. Hensley's eyes are unreadable. Mr. Price is shaking now, both hands clutching the rose. The photo slips from his fingers, landing on the marble at his feet. Two young men in uniform, a memory now rooted in stone. Reyes pivots, heels locked, rifle presented with silent precision. He completes the turn, begins his return. With each pass, the sunlight catches on the barrel, a golden flare. His breath is steady, but there's a tremor. His lips move, barely audible. Chill of the night, I will honor them. The crowd's stillness deepens, the only sound the soft sigh of the flag and the distant hush of leaves in the trees. Brooks stands at attention, every muscle burning with pride and ache. Hensley's posture wavers, a single heartbeat, the mask of command slipping. Reyes halts, brings his rifle down, and salutes. The gesture is sharp, flawless, a final tribute. From the crowd, Mr. Price steps forward, breaking from the mass, the rose cradled to his chest. A guard moves to intervene. Brooks raises a hand, stills him. The rope is lifted just for a moment. Price's steps are uncertain, but he crosses the marble with the solemnity of a soldier. He lays the rose at the tomb, pauses, fingers brushing the stone. He bows his head. When he rises, his voice cracks, barely a whisper. "Thank you, son." Reyes's eyes fill, but his chin does not drop. The crowd sees, and something shatters. Grown men weep openly. Children cling to parents. Hayes turns away, eyes bright with tears. Brooks's voice low. "That's why we do this." Hensley finally exhales, the last tension draining from his face, replaced with something closer to understanding than command. Reyes completes his final walk, 21 steps, turn, 21 steps, turn, before coming to a full, rigid halt before the tomb. He raises his hand in salute as the sun vanishes, leaving only the marble's glow. For one long moment, the silhouette of the unknown seems to stand beside him, outlined by fading light, a sentinel joined by every sacrifice. As the last echoes of his boots fade, the crowd breaks into sobs, the sound rolling over the stones, filling every hollow left by loss. Brooks calls the relief. Reyes lowers his hand, shoulders squared, eyes forward. The line is unbroken. At Arlington, the dead are never truly alone. Subscribe for more stories of sacrifice, legacy, and the living honor of those who guard the memory of the fallen.